Hi there. Now, I'm just trying to use up some of these pictures on my tablet. The two computers I've got is a Mac computer, desktop computer, and I've got a tablet and an Apple tablet. And basically, I use take pictures, and I do posts on social media with them about various different subjects. So I'm trying to use this one up because it'll probably be a future post, writing stuff on it and that. But anyway, I think I want to jump into forgiveness. I spoke about this last few days, actually. Last couple of days I've been really delivering an awakening about forgiveness in my videos. And it starts by forgiving yourself. How you feel when you first wake up is how you really feel. The outside world, you can have children, you can have a wife, you can go to different places, and you can really escape yourself. But how you feel when you first wake up is how you truly feel about yourself and the world. I do these videos as soon as I wake up. First thing I do is basically do this. Put on the music, the YouTube, and do this. Now, before my spiritual awakening, I would feel horrible in the mornings, wouldn't talk to anyone. Took me hours before I could talk to anybody. But that's the difference. Is the awakening, like I say all the time, it's just a case of you feel so low, and the animal instinct within everyone. The drugs that people take, for example, all the party drugs, all the feelings that are within there are actually heart feelings, ecstasy, the love drug. And these feelings are all heart-based feelings. And the reason normal people don't feel it all the time, or don't feel a smidgen of it, is because they're not working with what's within them. You see? And that's the thing. They're not working with it. These energies that humans are attracted to are all heart-based. They're all lovey-dovey kind of things that we're attracted to. And that's because that's what we naturally are. And it naturally feels like home. And the world is set up in such a way that we're trained and programmed not to know how to access our divinity, which is these energies that we're attracted to. So everything is organized just the way that it is. And this is what I realized on this awakening. I started thinking, well, if this is me, then what was the Sean before? Why was that guy thinking the way he was thinking? Because I was programmed to think like that. And so that's all the joy and everything is within you. But it's not an easy road, because healing is a gradual process. You've got to take one step at a time, because if you're too hard on yourself, then that will send negative signals all through your body, and then that's bad for your body. So this is why uncomfortable is good, but not too uncomfortable. Because as medical says now, if you're too hard on yourself, that sends stress, and stress sends these killer electronic waves through the body, and that is self-destructive. So don't really listen to people when they say, oh, you should do this. Do what feels like it's going to make you feel right and good. This is the quickest way to healing and quickest way to ascension. When you're healing and you're high, that's when you get all your insight. That's when you understand your problems. So this is the way to properly heal. And listen to all the ascended masters and people that have said this, and they all say it. I saw on YouTube a couple of years ago this channeler lassie, and she was bringing through the Pleiadians, and she said that the Pleiadians say that the quickest way to ascension is to feel great, you know, because when you're high, you're having insight. But the proper way to get these highs is healing, you know, and to just, it's just about facing your own problems. You know, no one is going to miraculously come along and pick you up, put you over their shoulder and take away all your problems, right? Because even if they did, that would then be a very self-destructive thing for you, because then you're thinking in your mind, oh, I'm not good enough to sort my own problems out. I'm not good enough all by myself. And this is an extremely self-destructive way to think, that you're not good enough and that you can't sort your own problems out. This is why it's so important to heal yourself. This is why it's super important to heal yourself. And yeah, you know, yesterday I get this all the time. Some people think that, you know, I have over 20 followers on YouTube, and I've got some on Twitter, and Facebook is probably the least. Sometimes I don't get many on there, but I get messages from people all the time and telling me that I've really helped their path. And some of these people will argue with me at the start, and this tells me I'm doing the right thing, even though that Facebook might be the least amount. Some days I get nothing on there, but that tells me that I'm doing the right thing. But it also tells me that Facebook is probably the least asleep then. If they're like the one that is ignoring me the most out of all the social media platforms, then they're probably the most asleep audience. But it doesn't bother me. You know, I don't do this for likes. You know, if that was the case, I would have stopped ages ago. I do this because it's an amazing experience that's happened to me, and I know my purpose, I know my job now, I know what I'm here for, and I'm sharing this path. And I'm full of momentum, I'm full of excitement, I'm full of love, because I've learned, like in the beginning of this video, I've learned to forgive myself. That was meant to what I was meant to talk about at the start of the video, but I got sidetracked. But back to that, that's how you awaken, and that's how you heal, is you learn to forgive yourself. This is why people don't forgive, because they don't forgive themselves. They don't like themselves very much. Once you start to work on that and then start to be nice to yourself, then you start to forgive others. Because the love you give is the reflection of the love that you give to yourself. This is why I'm always true. I'm not just true on these videos, I'm true to myself. You know, and this is it. I'm just always true to myself and always true to others. And it's all a mirror. What you give to yourself is what you give to the world. And your kids, if you've got kids, that as well. This is why you'll get parents that will buy their child a 5G phone. They obviously don't care. They say, oh, you haven't had kids, but well, I wouldn't buy them. I know I wouldn't buy them that. I've had them. But you do. Because they clearly don't care. This is true. This is the way it is. Most parents don't care. The parents that don't care are the ones that don't care about themselves. right? Because what they do is some parents have their kids too early and they weren't in their right minds. And so they wake up 20, 30 years later thinking, oh, what have I done? And they sometimes blame it on their kids. Not the kid's fault. It's your fault. But once you and it's again, it's that thing where they're not blaming themselves, but you've got to not blame yourself, but forgive yourself. This is what this path showed me, and this is how I haven't had depression for nearly 5 years. Because I let go of this hateful thing within me. I started to be more gentler on myself and started to understand that I am going through a human experience and to just be nice on myself. Why do people don't do this? Because they're told not to. Remember, we are told what to think, what to feel. Like the Steve Jobs quote when he says, everything is just made up by people who are no more smarter than you, and that is the way that it is. You know, the joy is all within you, and it starts by forgiveness. That's what the awakening happened, and it wasn't a separate thing. It was a choice. I was faced with a choice of staying depressed, and I had enough. But the animal instinct came through, and then I knew what to go with, and that was just showing me the way of to be true all the time, and being true all the time helps you to heal and to forgive yourself. And this is the path of ascension. And in this, your breathing becomes very gentler and lighter, because the way to correct your breathing properly is not to breathe in a certain way. I've learnt it's actually to just forgiveness and self-love, and that is how you're going within, healing, and that corrects your breathing. It changes your very DNA. The wording of DNA is quite big and I can't pronounce it, but your genetics, and it changes it. You notice you change into a meditative state as you're self-forgiving all the time, and this love of ecstasy I was talking about earlier starts to build up within you. Like when I'm doing these videos, sometimes when I'm doing these videos, I'm just like in such a euphoric state, and it's not drugs involved or nothing, or alcohol. I stopped drinking alcohol last year, early parts of last year, and I wasn't really a big drinker anyway. But I think I was drinking because of my awakening. I think I was facing some things I didn't really want to face it, and in denial that I'm facing it. So then I dropped it, and that's such a good thing, because then I'm facing the issues. Just that little bit of courage sometimes you need to step that little bit further. But anyway, I'm just going to end it there. If you're watching, you're meant to watch it. Everything falls in divine order and divine timing. Thank you for watching. Thank you.